The Antalya Diplomacy Forum is not working only to help stabilize ongoing wars, but also to make sure frozen conflicts do not reignite. Not far from the brutal assault Israel is unleashing on Gaza lies an island divided along ethnic lines. The issue of Cyprus has been a flashpoint in the Eastern Mediterranean for decades, where the risk of a renewed conflict is all too real. For nearly 50 years, the island has been divided between the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus and the Greek Cypriot administration. Türkiye, which has been a guarantor power since 1960, has been both a protector of the Turkish minority there and advocate for its place in the international community. I spoke with the president of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, Ersin Tatar, about the challenges his country faces in trying to find its place in the world. Mr. President, thank you very much for joining me on Strait Talk. So the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus was invited to the summit of the Organization of Turkic States in Kazakhstan last year as an observer. And this year you will be attending the OTS summit in Azerbaijan. So how is the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus's push to gain international recognition going?
Basically, we have been asking the international community to look at the Cyprus problem again, because exactly 60 years ago, after the intercommunal conflict in Cyprus, the United Nations decided that until a resolution of the Cyprus problem was founded, that the Republic of Cyprus in the south should be continuing to represent the whole of Cyprus.
Yes.
This is very unfair, because it's been 60 years, there has not been a resolution to the Cyprus problem, and they are still representing the whole of Cyprus. We are basically crying for justice. Why? Because we think it's so unfair. For the last 60 years, we have had our own state. We are under embargoes and isolations very unfairly, and we are basically prevented from meeting world leaders, from meeting civil organizations to explain the latest situation in Cyprus. Because the Greek Cypriots in the south are very concerned that if we get the opportunity to have our voice heard, then they will basically lose out, because everybody will say, well, since you are separated for the last 60 years and Turkish Cypriots are on the whole in the north and Greek Cypriots in the south, then the way forward would be for the two states to coexist. The south as a whole, allegedly representing the whole of the island, is in the European Union with Greece, which is very unfair to the Turkish world. Therefore, we are in the Turkish world, in the Turkish States Organization, and as an observer member, at least we are getting the opportunity to have our voice heard in an international organization.
So Turkey and Greece have seen dramatic improvements in relations over the past year. President Erdogan and Prime Minister Mitsotakis got together last December and pledged to further improve ties. How is this thaw in relations between the two countries affecting tensions in the Eastern Mediterranean and the issue of divided Cyprus, of course?
Obviously, I've discussed this matter, but what is being said is that Greece and Turkey relationship is altogether different from the Cyprus issue. Cyprus issue is outside of all this. Cyprus issue is a difficult one, it's a national one, and therefore Turkey has confirmed to me that our new policy, which has been on the agenda for the last 3 years, that the only way to restart formal negotiations would be the affirmation or acknowledgement of the sovereign equality and equal international status rights of the Turkish Cypriots. This is our red line, as it were, because sovereign equality emanates from the 1960 Constitution. It's an inherent right of the Turkish Cypriots. Equal international status does effectively say that if there is going to be a solution which would be fair, lasting, and sustainable, then it should be based on a two-state solution. Therefore, Turkey is continuing to support our case.
So the fallout from Israel's war on Gaza has impacted so many areas from the Eastern Mediterranean to the Red Sea. And you've just recently said that British bases in southern Cyprus should not be used to support Israel's attacks on Gaza. Could you talk to us about how Israel's assaults on Palestinians and the continued support it gets from some Western countries is making the situation much more complicated in the region?
Obviously, we are watching a modern genocide. I mean, in this day and age, that kind of genocide would have been just unthinkable. But now we have been watching it, and if Cyprus, my own country, is somehow involved, I'm very disturbed. Okay, the British got 2 sovereign bases when they pulled out in 1960, 2 sovereign bases, but these sovereign bases were presumably just for their interest in Cyprus. But that does not mean that they would have used these sovereign bases to fly aeroplanes and go and get involved in areas like Gaza and Palestine, Yemen, Iraq, Syria. That obviously makes Cyprus an unsafe place. When you have planes going up and getting involved in all these very tense conflicts, obviously Cyprus becomes a risky place. I don't want, as a Turkish Cypriot, and a lot of Greek Cypriots, as Greek Cypriots, they don't want
either
these bases to be involved in these operations.
Mr. President, thank you very much for joining me on Strait Talk.